So what I'm doing here at the moment is separating my garlic. So this is a mixed harvest coming from various locations. If you have a look here, you can see on the left the bulbs are quite larger, probably more suitable for seed garlic, the more preferential plants. So, decent size. When you look over here, these are the smaller bulbs. So we're going to reserve most of these for eating. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a demo of how I racked them up in these old cupboard doors from a long time ago. So yeah, the size of the garlic really differentiates it. Left hand side is where we'll pick for sea garlic. Left hand side is going to be set aside for some cooking. You get the occasional one that you damage, so this will go straight in for fresh cooking. Considering my focus has really been away from the garden the last 18 months, 2 years, I'm pretty happy with that. More than enough seed. The aim for this year really was to grow enough seed stock for ongoing years. Now I'm really back into it. Now we've got some garlic here on the right hand side. A few bits and pieces of small fresh ones that are broken that we'll use, but yep, more than enough seed, more than I planted last year, so yeah, it's worked out really well. Now to get it hung up. So there we have it, strung up in the shed. This rack's crude but effective, so I can sit here and quietly dry. Bit of a pain to come in and out of the shed for a bit, but it'll be worth it in the end. This is our white mulberry tree. It's producing a really mixed crop this year, a progressive crop, which is great, but it's nowhere near as large in numbers as was last year. The difficulty, of course, with white mulberries is getting them when they're ripe enough to eat, store and use. We had traditionally we freeze them. They oxidise a bit when you freeze them, but the great thing about that is you can keep them, use them in smoothies, things like that. So this one here, for example, this one looks deceptively ripe, but to feel it, its texture, it isn't quite ready to go. You're really looking for one that's starting to look like it's going off, as bad as that sounds. We're looking for one that's discoloured, even at sometimes a blackish tinge. So these here, for example, they're not much good. They'll be beautiful in a couple of days, but the question is, can we get to them before the birds do? No, not looking like we're going to get much luck today. It's a beautiful tree. We don't know the variety. And I'm told that white mulberries are the only mulberry leaf that silkworms will eat. If you can confirm that for me, let me know. But that's what I've been led to believe. Ah well, no luck today. A lot of green fruit. This is about the largest amount of blossom we've had on this feijoa for a long time. If you don't know the tree by the name feijoa, then you might know it. It sometimes gets called a pineapple guava. But the interesting thing about it is when the blossoms are young, they actually taste quite really sweet. They taste like the flavour of the fruit itself. Beautifully sweet. If you've never tried it, give it a go. This part here is a bit of a little update on the volunteer seedlings that I relocated the other day. These were the earlier batches of smaller seedlings that I find in the veggie beds, and these were the more established Golden Queen seedlings. They're going incredibly well. I'll slot in a piece so you can see the actual difference in the level of growth in a short period of time, but they're going really well. This eggplant overwintered from last year and is already starting to get some fruit, which is darkening off. Quite amazing, and it's in full flower, as you can see. It's incredible. We've had huge examples of this. This variety is Supreme, which is it's a hybrid, but it's incredibly valuable if you can find it. We've had them produce tens of kilos of fruit from a single plant. Incredibly productive. Over here, these few onions are going all right. And these tomatoes, you can sort of see that the growth rate is varied in them. Different spots in this bed. The little capsicums here, which are hybrids, aren't going all that well. But you can see here, we're getting some cat-faced blossoms starting to form, mutated blossoms on them. And that, I find that happens quite a lot with hybrid plants. And it seems quite common here. You can sort of see that here you have a cat-faced blossom that's swelling up, becoming malformed, next to blossoms that are perfectly normal. It's a strange phenomenon. You get really double flowers. They're quite weird. But I'll get an image of that in a later journal. The roof structure on the tool shed and potting sheds have been removed with my plans to work on a new roof, a new hothouse project in this area. I'm going to put out a project video soon, just with a backlog of the ideas that I've had to help me keep on track. Anyway, I'll put more of that up into the future. I've left thinning fruit a bit late. This is a Sicilian nectarine which self-seeded into this bed. The problem with it is it's incredibly prolific, but the fruit this year compared to last year is doing incredibly well, and I think it has to do with the fact we've had some great rainfall. Here's a Golden Queen peach. This was one of those $10 rescues after a really strong heat wave here in South Australia at a hardware store. And it's just gone from strength to strength as time's gone on. This tree's been cut back about 3 times since we've had it, and as you can see, it just holds a huge amount of fruit. Its neighbour here is a peach that's called Joe's Peach. We bought this a few years ago from an incredible local garden project called Joe's Connected Garden, where a group of gardeners have merged their gardens together as a fruit growing and vegetable growing resource. It's the first time it's really come up with this much fruit. So we'll see how it goes. The fruit are beautiful, a lovely yellow fleshed peach. Anyway, just a bit of an update after the garlic prep that we had earlier, and we'll see you next time. Just a footnote here, this young mango seedling, I thought the cold had got it, but it's shooting from a point here on the stalk, so I'm really happy about that. Looks like it's made it. On another note, I think this is the most time, or the most number of mango flowers I've ever had form. Both the mangoes that we've got here in barrels are actually look like they're starting to form flower buds. You can see them here, very early in their development. Just marvellous. Really, this time, see ya.